Good afternoon. Well, it's the video we all expected. Labour urged to introduce new paper mile car tax system with certain drivers targeted. This is from the Express and it's our favourite motoring journalist, Luke Chillingsworth. Do you remember we did a video with Luke last year when he did some superb journalism? I'm not getting into all of that now. A new paper mile car tax system would target electric vehicle owners in an attempt to fill the gaps in the public finances, writes Luke. Labour's been urged to consider introducing a paper mile system to ensure motorists pay their share to use the UK roads. A top civil servant working for the Department for Transport said the new government had to find another tax for electric vehicles, with many paying nothing to get behind the wheel. In a series of messages posted on social media sites, the band formerly known as Twitter, the civil servant pointed out that a mileage-based car tax system was needed. They even suggested prices could be adjusted so drivers travelling into busy areas pay more, which could be a blow to commuters. Under the current rules, motorists with zero emissions vehicles pay no form of car tax, as it's seen as a major incentive to make the switch. It's the only incentive to make the switch from your old car to a newer, much more expensive car. The only one. According to the Telegraph, the civil servant posted on the band formerly known as Twitter, the obvious answer is to find another tax so electric motorists keep paying their share, but electric vehicles don't use special electricity that you can tax, and a purchase or a registration tax won't restrain gridlock. So you need some kind of pay per mile cost, and that leads you back to road pricing. The principle is you pay a small fee for every mile you drive, just like you effectively do through fuel taxes today. Yes, we pay tax on we already pay by the mile because it's relative to the amount of fuel that you're using, because of the amount of tax that is levied onto fuel. And we pay road tax as well, which is for... EV owners are set to face vehicle excise duty rates from April 2025, but a per mile fee could help bridge the loss in revenue. The loss in revenue. The government is losing money because you're all driving electrical cars. Well, they shouldn't have wasted so much of it on spurious things such as, I don't know, PPE that wasn't any good. Remember? Track and trace. That wasn't any good either. I haven't forgotten all of that, and you shouldn't forget it either. But it's important to remember all of that when they're saying, oh, there's a gap in the budget from all the electric cars. It's utter balls. It's just an excuse to put the cameras up, to get the old cars off the road, and to track us with everywhere that we're going. But what do I know? I'm a conspiracy theorist, and as far as I know, I don't think I've yet had any of my predictions that haven't come true. We're waiting on digital ID, but that one's coming next. A recent poll from Go Compare found over half, 53% of British drivers were against the introduction of a pay per mile system, while a similar 52.82% felt a per mile charge would be used as a way of increasing tax. How many of them actually trust the government to do the right thing? None of them. Meanwhile, 51.89% said it would be unfair to those who have to drive more, with 51.45% claiming it would make road tax too complicated. However, they stressed that decisions had to be made quickly, with the opportunity to introduce fees slowly fading. We don't need to bring in any new fees, do we? How about let's just have a ban on government wasting money on stuff that money doesn't need to be spent on? Let's do that instead of getting the general public to pay for all the mistakes that they're making. Let's make them pay for the mistakes that they're making somehow, however they might do that. They added that the perfect window for doing this, when there's plenty of EV sales but not many EVs already on the road. So they're saying that it's now. There's lots of EV sales but not many already on the road, so nip it in the bud, catch it early. It's well above my pay grade, says the person. People like me exist to deliver the will of government, not second guess it, said the civil servant, in a quote that was reminiscent as coming from Yes Minister. The only thing I will say is that the UK will be firmly outside that window by 2029. So whatever the choice, the new government will be the one making it. The new government that has already said that they're going to spend lots of money to build 100,000, or was it 1 million new houses, to put the people that they're inviting over from different countries, despite the fact that we have a housing crisis and lots of British people can't get on the property ladder, or if they're not on the property ladder, can't find a house to rent But let's build some houses for people that came here on dinghies. Great idea. This government has absolutely got your back, so you can guarantee that they won't bring in spurious new motoring charges. I'm highly concerned about what is going to happen to motoring. I was concerned enough about what was going to happen to motoring under the last government, but under a Labour government, silence. Shocked silence from Geoff. Hey, Geoff, how come you haven't made many videos over the last 6 days? I've been sulking and planning and generally spending my time really concerned about what freedom of movement in the future looks like. True story. Let's have some comments. So, the government aren't being urged to introduce road pricing. It's just one of several options that civil servants have put on the table to be considered. This is a non-article, apart from warning EV drivers that they are likely to eventually face some sort of tax to use the roads, which I think everyone expected anyway. So there we go. That commenter going straight in for the juggler. And the particular juggler that they're going for is Luke Chillingsworth, Cars reporter, for not reporting properly. Luke, who? So you say at the top there that Labour have been urged to introduce a new paper mile car tax system. Who has urged them to do it? Because the civil servant says that it's part of a number of options that they're looking at. So, Luke, let me know who sent you the press release saying that this article needed to go out, because I'd love to know who is urging Labour, and does his first name begin with Klaus? Anyway, new comment, not from someone called Klaus. Well, someone has to pay for all our new arrivals, and the resident motorist fits the bill perfectly. Didn't take long for Labour to begin stinging the taxpayer and giving it to the ones who don't pay anything. Wow. And that comment was before Angela Rayner said that she was going to personally build 100,000 houses for... No, what was she going to do? There's 450,000 new people that have come over, and Angela Rayner's going to build them all a house, using the money that they raised through charging EV drivers road tax. Next comment, not from Angela or Klaus. Taxing the workers to fund the migrants and net zero. Just what should be expected of a Labour government. Again, another commenter that has gone straight in with migrants and net zero, both of which are a scam. I mean, migrants clearly aren't a scam, but the whole thing has major holes in it, because basically they've come all the way through Europe to get to Britain, and there's got to be a reason that they wanted to get to Britain, and that's because Angela Rayner's going to build them all a house. People are going to say that this video went off the rails, and I think the main thing to understand is that we're very much on the rails, and we're very much headed in the direction that the people who run the world have said that the train is going to end up at. The final destination as to where the train of society and civilization is headed, but it's on track. That's all I can say from reading this article. None of it is good news. Yes, your vehicle that used to be free for road tax will eventually start costing you money, because everything that was once cheap and good value turns to shit. Thanks for watching.